All right, guys, gonna clap. Whoa, that was too strong. All right, guys.
Wrong like bull.
Let's try that again. This time I'm gonna put the stapler on the right side. There we go. Hey everybody, I'm Ricky with RMars Media, and we're bringing you Creators Outlet, where we are going to save you time and money talking about how we created our creative businesses, and we're going to help you, yes, you guys, learn how to make money doing what you love doing. Again, like I said, I'm Ricky.
I'm Jason Mitchell.
I'm John Merlo.
Well, come on, guys, you gotta say your companies.
Oh, well, we have a few, but I'm Jason Mitchell. I'm from the Beacon Studios. We also have Prime Resolution, which is our video division, and then John can tell you about.
My name is John Merlo, and I am a founder of the Beacon, one of the founders of the Beacon, and also the founder of Making Waves Music, which is my recording studio.
Ooh,
fresh, saucy.
And so the reason why we started this podcast is because we wanted to talk to you, everyone out there, because you can actually get paid doing what you like to do. Believe it or not, it's amazing. We got on Instagram Live. We actually have somebody wanting to see the food, so I'm gonna show that again. So you can actually make money doing what you love doing, and most people don't understand that. Like, even if it's a side gig, you can actually make a couple bucks here and there, gas money, whatever you want to do. But I think it's really important that people understand that people are doing it. Jokers like us. I mean, I'm making extra money on the side. I have a full-time job, and I'm holding down a side gig that pays pretty good doing marketing and media.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
There's a lot that goes into it. A lot of it is having your plan together, like a plan, and then executing, obviously. But a lot of it has to do with like your guts on like what you're willing to do to get it. Like if you're not okay with working every day or 14 hours a day, then it's probably not for you. Like, so there's things that go into it, and if you're willing and you're able and you have that vision and you are a creative person and you're not faking creative, you're a really innovative person, then there's a whole world of potential for just about anybody that has those tools.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a leap of faith. Anything that you love to do, especially being creative, it's a leap of faith. Me and John, we worked a lot of years while doing this at night as well, and it was always gratifying, but it was never as gratifying as when we took the leap of faith and just started doing it full time. It took some time to build and develop, and we're still building and developing. I mean, it'll never stop. It's always a chase. It's a lifestyle. My thing is, I tell people, we wake up unemployed every day and we go find work. Yeah. That's what we do. That's what our life consists of. Yeah. And as long as we're doing what we love to do, it doesn't feel like work. We've been lucky enough to take some good advice and align ourselves with people who are like-minded and who have best interests for the community and for the creative community and just for people in general who do what we do. And, that's what's pretty much made us lucky enough to be where we are and do what we're doing full-time and, making a living at it.
So let's start with you, Jason. Mm-hmm. When did you realize that you wanted to be when did you want to be a creative? Like, did it come like you were real young, or were you in high school?
I've always been interested in the arts, whether it's drawing, painting, playing music, piano. When I was a kid, I do piano lessons, I do trumpet lessons, played the bass guitar. And when I was in high school, I finally got some turntables and
turntables. Was this like the 80s or something?
Close. It was in the 1900s. In the
there were actually tables that turned.
And like, so I've always been interested in like doing something different, doing something that I was anything that inspired me. But I never saw myself as like an artist. I never saw myself as a creative. I never really saw myself as that type of person. Until more so just recently. But the music is what kind of led everything to me. Starting out doing producing, taking home recordings, just to facilitate my cravings for doing what I love, and then meeting people who were like-minded and had the same drive that I did. John being one of those people, and just pushing our local demographic until we just forced our way in and just let people know, hey, we're here. This is what we're going to do, and we're doing it, whether you like it or not. And it just kind of expanded and developed, and we've developed skills, and we've just kind of worked ourselves, really literally just worked ourselves into a position of where we're at now. And, we still have aspirations of things where I see my life going, or where I see my niche being. And it's just, the creative aspect, especially now, is really popular, and it's just it's gratifying for me. It's gratifying. So that's kind of where we're at with it, where I'm at with it right now.
Yeah, and it's a journey. It's not like you wake up one day and then you're doing this. It's a lot of work. I find out myself, I've been in business for, I would say, like actual business. I've been in business for probably 3 years. Actually doing it, because I did audio for so long that I thought I was going to stick with that. But getting into the marketing aspect and the media aspect, that's when I started to grow my business. It wasn't just a hobby. I was actually starting to make money, starting doing all that stuff, and understanding what's making me money. That's what was the hardest, and one of the hardest things to discover, because I was so into music.
Yeah.
That it was hard to be like, oh, well, I'm going to stop doing music and start doing this.
The biggest misconception that I've, especially demographically speaking, where we are, where we're trying to do our business and run our business, is the biggest thing that you see here is people want you to do, if you really love what you do, you're going to do it for free, right?
Yeah.
You hear that your whole life. If you really love what you do, you do it for free. But if you're really good at what you do, you got to charge for it.
Yeah, and people will see it and want to pay you.
Exactly. So that's kind of where the fine line that we walk every day is between doing what we love to do, but still trying to be lucrative and still trying to keep the lights on.
Especially in a creative field. A creative field, oftentimes, because of the people, some of the clients that come in aren't focused on making a living out of it, more of like, hey, I want to do this because it's fun, because what I like to do. They think that in return that you should be like that as the business owner.
Yeah.
And there has to be a clear divide between what is fun and entertainment and leisurely, and what is business, and this is how I feed the family. Mm-hmm. So there's definitely like lines, and it's partially being able to help educate your market and your clients on, hey man, I can do this for you, but there has to be some kind of, like, we have to meet in the middle somewhere. Mm-hmm. I'm looking out for you, but I just can't come down here for 9 hours for nothing. Like, I got a family at home. Like, there's things that you have to do, and going back on the point of like getting off of work. Like, what do you do when you get off of work? Mm-hmm. Like, when you have a day off, what do you do? If you go and you're not chiseling out your craft, and you're not getting better at something that could potentially turn into what it is that you're trying to do for a living, then maybe you want to think about what you're doing.
That's true, because for me, like you say, there were times where we're working 12-hour days, just doing what we love to do, right? And then you go home and it's like, you know what, I'm going to hop on YouTube. I still have some more questions that need to be answered. Mm-hmm. And I still have this insatiable urge to learn more about this, whatever this is, right? And I think if you have that, you need to harness that. You need to, that's a good indication of what you might like to do or might be interested in doing, and find a way to make it work. Find a network, work that network, and you're going to find all different types of clientele within that network. And it's survival. It's feast or famine. It's survival of the fittest. It's there's so many things that go into it. And it's me, I came from the oil fields, and now I look at it totally differently having a job. You wake up every day, for the most part, your job is secure. You can go to it, feel good about getting a check. You know, while you're there, you hate it, and you always want to do something else. You're always thinking about everything else. But at the end of the day, the job is the security. And in this, there's really no security. The only security is in doing what I love to do. Mm-hmm. And the feeling of when your family supports you and the people that you care about, friends and family, support you wholeheartedly, and they're proud of you. They don't care whether you're making $1 million. They're happy to see you doing what you're doing and making it work.
You have to be really willing and able, well, more willing than anything. You have to be willing to make this plunge. We talked about the plunge, but not part of the plunge is the lifestyle change.
Right.
Like, you can't hop into a job in a field of like a creative job like we have, like a recording guy or whatever. In the demographic that we're in, you can't hop in that in the first year expect to make $100,000 a year,
or even a living wage.
Right.
Right, because it's not something that you're not running a restaurant where it's different because
even a restaurant, man.
Well,
I have some of my clients are restaurants.
Well,
you open up.
If you think about it, like everybody has to eat, right?
Oh yeah,
we know that. Not everybody has to come to the recording studio and lay down a vocal.
Right.
Like
that's right. We had to eat some acai from Rio Acai.
I'm about to. Matter of fact,
you know, actually, let's go ahead and do that right now.
Should we open them up?
As you guys can see,
I already dipped into mine.
Yeah, you did. I'm show you guys eating because I'm the cameraman right now. But like even right here, we have Justin who is actually part of this podcast. No, I'm saying Justin.
Oh, I thought you were calling me Justin.
No.
Sorry.
We have Justin who's actually part of the Creators Outlet, and he has so many different streams of revenue, and he's one of those people I look up to. And we're actually gonna see him try poke for the first time ever.
It looks like tuna, bro.
It is.
It is tuna. It's tuna and salmon.
Oh, okay.
So the way they make it is
like
Hawaiian style, apparently. So it has like the thicker onion and it has the bigger chunks of protein. It's just delicious all the way around.
It really is. It's good. And, you know, since I've known Justin, he's been an inspiration since I met him.
Oh, yeah. This is really good.
It is good. It's excellent. And
yeah.
He's a hardworking guy, and I appreciate everything that guy does for the community and does for us. And
he's one of the 20 under 40 in Bakersfield.
That's right. That's where he's at right now, or he's not, who would be here with us.
Yeah, actually, he wanted to be here. He's like, I got to do that dinner.
Yeah.
But he's people in the community understand what he does,
right.
And you know that guy has such great talent, and he could hold it for himself, but he doesn't.
Right.
He shares it with everybody.
I'm going to tell you right now that, in my opinion,
I'll tell you right now.
I'm going to lay it down.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
No, Justin, his biggest talent to me is that guy works like no other.
Really does.
So every time you see Justin, like, oh, he bought a new camera. Oh, he spent this much on the lens. Just know that he's not sitting down on the couch.
Yeah.
Like money being thrown at him.
No,
that guy.
And then he has the Brady Bunch behind him.
That guy gets up at the crack, and he's at it all day long. Yeah. Like that guy works for every penny he gets, and he deserves every penny he has because of his ethic, his work ethic. So
yeah, and he inspires me because. You know that's where I want to be. You know, I want to be where I have multiple streams of income. I could do what I want. You know, he actually does music videos in LA, competing against some of the best camera/studios in LA.
Absolutely.
And he's killing it out there.
Yep.
It's amazing. And you see some of his realty photos. I'm like, how the heck? Did you take a time traveling machine and do photos in the morning and then a music video at night?
He is a perfectionist, and he has attention to detail like no other, and you know that's what sets him apart. He's about quality over quantity. He's about relationships over money. He's about all the things that and he's a mentor for us, and those are some of the things that we're trying to adopt and implement into our own business. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't know, but the Beacon, people go to the Beacon Studios. Well, what is the Beacon? Or does everybody work under one roof or nothing? The Beacon, me, John, and Justin, we sat down and came up with a plan for what the Beacon was to be. And we wanted a creative collective, an environment where creatives can come and run their business. And that's the only way that we were able to do the Beacon, is to have a group of creatives who were like-minded to involve themselves in it, in the process. And, we have Silo doing his guitar lessons out of here. He's got, he's doubled or even tripled his clientele basis since he's been here. We have Max Marketing, who's been doing really well, and Black Condor, yeah, and now it's evolved. So that's showing growth. Just him being here, went from Max Marketing to Black Condor. That shows growth. That's the stuff that we're proud of. We're proud of looking at other people who have businesses just like us. We're just mom and pop, just.
Look at him get it. He's
getting
it. He hasn't said a single thing.
I didn't know that I was on Front Street right now.
That's good.
That's delicious.
That's all right. I'm carrying this like you.
Where's that from again?
Rio Acai Bowl.
No, acai.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, we have their locations. They're on Chester, Bakersfield, California, and they're also on Callaway, right next to Dewars, on Callaway and Rosedale. And they also have my favorite location, which is on Gosford.
It's the little kiosk.
Yeah, that little it used to be a robot yogurt.
Java Detour.
It was a bunch of places, but
those little kiosks are so great because anybody thinking to start about something like a Java Detour or anything Tutti Frutti, anything, to me something like that is perfect because that model is a low overhead model.
Yeah,
and it's a drive-through model. And it's something that it's perfect.
I swear, I am buying Justin's next camera. I eat at Rio Acai Bowls, and I am joking just because they're sponsoring this podcast. I eat at Rio Acai Bowls at least twice a week.
My girlfriend is the same way. She goes and gets the poke. She loves the poke, and she goes there at least twice a week. And yeah, it's good.
It's affordable too. That's what I like about it. I'm lactose intolerant, so if I eat ice cream, I'm gonna be killing people.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's a running joke in my family that I got food poisoning at Disneyland, and so I was leaving a trail of tears behind me, and literally I gagged a guy. Oh. No lie. Like he was done.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in Bakersfield, the thing that so the first time I'd ever heard about this before I knew Justin, there was a friend of ours, and he goes, you know what? I went and had one of those Rio Acai Bowls. He goes, that was the best breakfast I'd ever had. And I look at this guy and go, are you insane? Like, I come from a Mexican household. We have papas and chorizo. And
you look like you look like you just eat celery.
No, I get my meals in. But when he said that, I go, this guy's insane, And then time went by, and I had one. Summertime in Bakersfield, it's 90 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. You have a nice, cool bowl. It's refreshing. It actually
the granola is my favorite part.
Filling, with fruit in it. It's good.
So we actually have I through our Mars Media, I have Eat Drink West Coast, which is a food show about food on the West Coast. And so far we featured Cubby's Pizza, which was our pilot. And then we're currently editing through the Firestone Walker Brewery. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be awesome. I kid you not. Wasn't that tour so amazing?
It was.
These guys were my camera crew / audio team. And we're just missing Juan out of here, huh?
Yeah.
But it was a great experience because the food was good. The atmosphere was amazing. I can't wait till that show comes out on Facebook.
And at one time, kind of bringing everything full circle, listening to her talk about it, and that's something that's nice to tie in with this segment is the two brothers.
Oh, yeah.
It was a mom and pop. These guys...
No, it was brother-in-laws.
Oh, brother-in-laws? So in-laws,
yeah.
Pretty much...
Not one of them Tennessee brothers.
But they made it they made it happen, though. I mean, to go there and look at that facility, clean, beautiful, right there in Paso, right off the freeway. The food's good.
You could eat off that place. Like, you could eat off the vats.
You could eat off the floor, dude. It's clean.
So clean, yeah. Like, even at Tembler, I've had a tour in Tembler. They're here in Bakersfield. That place is pretty clean too.
Yeah.
But it's just like when they took you into the vat room, it was like, what the heck amazing. Is this?
One of the biggest things that, for me, one of the biggest eye openers that I experienced there, and I think I talked to John about this, but the fact that their 805 is what pays the bills there, and that's what they brew the most of, and everybody's on the 805. it was so weird to hear that used to be their honey blonde.
Yeah, and that was a failing beer.
That was a failing beer.
Or not failing. I should say it wasn't selling.
It was their lowest grossing beer.
Yeah.
And all they did was literally change the label, change the branding, and look what happened. You finished that?
He finished his finished his bowl.
See, what had happened was
Well, I haven't even touched mine because I am intently listening to your guys' stories.
it was good, dude.
It's delicious.
That
so
is the
good.
first time. Let me give you my.
It's like a sushi bowl, right?
Yeah, what is your review on our today's sponsor, Rio Acai Bowls? Honestly, truth.
No, I would keep it honest because Justin keeps it totally honest with me. And if it sucked, I'd be like, dude, this sucks. No, but it was delicious. It wasn't too fishy.
Exactly.
It's really,
It was the spicy one. I guess they serve a spicy and a non-spicy one, or is it
Is
just
this the spicy?
Yes,
The one
that's
I
the
had,
spicy.
like-
That's the spicy right there.
good.
I got all spicy because that's the best one.
Yeah.
It was a perfect. Now I don't eat the big chunks of onion.
I like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Most people.
No, I'm not really into. I like
Then,
thin onion, but I even ate the onion right now.
Yeah, I love the thicker onion. And
Very
and that-
complementary
Yeah.
taste together.
You know, I've been to a few of the other like poke places. I never ate poke until probably about 3 months ago. The first, actually, I take that back. I had some homemade poke and it was not the same. Different taste, totally different like profile and everything.
Right.
And what I ended up liking about the Rio is that it's all contained. Like it's not like you're trying to fishing, not trying to use the fish word, but you're not like looking for a piece of meat. It's all right there.
Yeah.
It's just my mouth is watering. I can't wait to dig into that thing. So you know what? I'm gonna let you tell your story, and I am going to start digging into my poke bowl. So go ahead, tell what's up, man. How did you get into?
Okay. All right. So I started music. Music is the journey that's brought me here. So in high school, we started dabbling in music, but no training. It's just a bunch of friends that got together that had this interest of, hey, we're gonna do songs or we're gonna do this and that. We're gonna do what we gotta do. So that kind of evolved into like the production aspect. So producing songs.
All right, go ahead. Sorry for the interruption. As I was eating and
What sucks
John
is
was telling a story.
the live can't hear the sound effects.
no, they will. Well, yeah, the live won't hear the sound effects, but
Trust me, they're good. They're
the
awesome.
YouTube,
They're
the
bad.
YouTube will they will update it so all the live will. So go ahead and tell your story again.
Okay,
So high school.
Yeah, already, just a bunch of guys that, getting together, started producing these songs for these guys, getting into these groups. Oh, music group, like this and that. Then it evolves into, hey, do you have a computer at your house? Yeah, well, we need somewhere to record these. Okay, well, I guess I'll do it. I'll take that chore on. So it just evolves into, like becoming a part of a culture and becoming a part of this almost like a club of people that have the same interest that you do, just like a car club or a bike club or whatever it is. So yeah, so at some point, you're bit by the bug. You have the passion. You seem to be good at it. You're good at it. You feel like people.
What program did you start off in?
I think everybody's starting FL from.
Really?
Really?
Not me.
Everybody that I know.
I'm a real musician. That's why.
Oh God.
I actually started out with those old school like 8-track digital recorders.
I
That's what I had to.
I started out with FL, and then I went and bought I bought a.
You had the MPC?
I had a SP. What is it? A 505 sampler with a drum machine.
Oh wow, you had the drum machine one?
Yeah.
Dang.
And then I went and bought. I remember I wanted this MPC 2000 XL. It was the purple one. If anybody's interested, knows what I'm talking about. It's the purple MPC, which looks kind of a lot like this, minus that. So so I was saving up my money, and I remember my dad was like,
Did you have a job or did you just?
"No, I think I was in high school, like early high school years." So either just out of high school or late into my high school career. So right about that point, probably 2001 or 2002. I'm dating myself, so. And my dad was like, you know what? You've been saving this money. I see that you have this knack for this, whatever. You just come up with half, and I'll get the other half. And at that point, I had already had half. So I'm like, let's go right now. I got it right now. So we ended up going down there, and I bought my MPC, you know, and I loved it. I just.
Do you remember the workstations? The old piano workstations from the 1990s?
Oh, yeah. I had the motif.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with the modules and all that. Yeah.
I had the Triton.
The one I want when I started out, it was the one where Dr. Dre was sitting in front of. I can't remember. I think it was a motif. Mm-hmm. And he was sitting in front of that workstation. I was just like, oh my god! And then you see the price points like $20,000.
Oh man,
the SSL board.
It's not a cheap field to get into, video or audio.
No, it's not.
But just little things like my dad saying, hey, I'll take half if you take the other half. So I got my MPC, and that put me in like a whole nother inspirational period in my life where I'm like, I got the tools that the big dogs have now. There's no excuse why I shouldn't be doing, what I need to do, right? So, yeah, and then it just evolved. And over the years, I have equipment in my studio that I've had for 20 years, And people ask me, they walk into the studio and they see this stuff, and they're like, wow, how did you get this? It must be a lot of money. And I'm like, well, it's not that much money if you think about it. It's been here for 20 years. Like, right. I've been collecting this stuff and trading up. Like, yeah, I might grab these two pieces that I bought and I might sell them and then get something to the next level. So a lot of my equipment that I got, I acquired it from trades, trading up, just doing whatever I had to do. So to be at the point where we're at where, we were just, we don't need, we decided that the oil work wasn't for us. And I knew that my career, I knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. Like, that wasn't ever my livelihood. Like, it was my livelihood, but it wasn't my passion by any means. I hated it. I hated going out and working for somebody that I couldn't express myself, that I couldn't make it better, that I just had to go by a protocol that I really didn't even feel was, I don't know. It's just, that's where we're at now. So we decided to make the jump. That was what, 2.5 years ago?
16.
Yeah. So, yeah, and we haven't looked back, and there's been it started out slow. I mean, just like anything, I think that the statistics on a starting business are horrible, and it's slow because I think in part that you have, like I said earlier, you have to be able to alter the way you live and alter the things you do to get to that point. It's not some roller coaster it's already going when you jump on it. No, you have to get on it, and it starts slow, but eventually it picks up speed and it gets you to where you need to be. So that's where we're at now, and I feel like exponential growth from 2.5 years ago till now, being that we were able to upgrade and just continually pushing this imaginary bar of content and of quality to where it's at now. So I encourage anybody that if you have a job and you're going home after your job and you're spending all your time doing something that you're passionate about and you're really good at it and you're good at it, then it should be a natural movement, like to make that jump, or
Well, I guess it's my turn. So, if you guys are following me, you guys probably know me. Talking to my Instagram peeps, and I started out in a band, so that's where I started my creative outlet. I grew up in Delano, California, which is like the east side and only the east side. And in Bakersfield, that's like low income field workers. So basically just a bigger east side. And, fortunately, my dad was an educator, did pretty good. But he never I never understood. Like, I'd always see my friends, oh, I got a new drum set, I got a new this, I got a new that. My dad bought me my first guitar, my first amp was a crate. And then I can't remember, I think I got birthday money and then I bought a Marshall. I remember that was like one of my favorite amps. And then he bought me a really nice amp, which I have to this day, which is a Flextone 3 from line 6. So like you know, but I wasn't given everything. I had friends who would just say, "Hey, Dad, I want a new this," and then they'd show up with that. Then people were buying computers and all that, and so. So I grew up with my dad. I didn't live with my mom at that time when I started getting to the creative side. So he was a mariachi. You know, he played music and he had his day job. So I've always seen the side hustle as something that's part of life. You know, my dad had a great job. You know, he educator. I won't say how much, but you know, principal and all that stuff. So they make pretty good money. So it wasn't that he needed to make money. It's just that he always had a side hustle. He learned that from my grandpa. Always working. My grandpa was always working, even close to his death. So unfortunately, I didn't get to really know him. He died when I was really young, but that's what I hear. And so me growing up in a creative household, being able to write music and all that stuff like that, my dad was really hard. Like he would tell me, because I'd be like, oh yeah, I want to be in a band and play music. He's like, well, if you're going to play music, what you need to learn how to do is you need to learn how to play Stairway to Heaven on guitar and sing at the same time. And then when you do that, you can come talk to me.
All right. Some unrealistic expectation. Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just do that. So then I tried to learn Stairway to Heaven and it didn't work out. Yeah. It was like ding ding, you know, like when you walk into Guitar Center, everyone's playing like Wayne's World, no Stairway to Heaven. Right. So that was me, you know. So he was very competitive, and you know what? I'm so thankful for that today because I am super competitive. I'm the type of person where I'll stay up all night just to prove a point.
Right.
You know. So I grew up playing music. I was in bands. I feel really bad for my bandmates because back then I had super bad anxiety, like not to play in front of crowds, but just social anxiety. So we'd go hang out after the show, and I couldn't hang. Like I mentally, for some reason, I can't. Excuse me, I can't hang. Mm-hmm. Like I can't go party. I can't go. I could party, but not if people were like, "Oh yeah, I like you in your band." And I was like, man, I just couldn't do it for some reason. I was going crazy. I don't know what it is. But as I got older, I realized like, okay, just calm your ass down. You know, I feel really bad. I was in this band. You know what? I can't even think of the name right now. Later in life, and I feel really bad because it was actually pretty good stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was really happy with the band, the guitar player, drummer, bass player. Everyone was cool. But I was messed up in the head, you know, and I feel really bad. We could have done a lot more if it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I've been involved in projects all along, you know, throughout your course of life where you think this is it. If we could just get this to go, or this song, or this, if we could just get in this network or just collab with this person, and just, you think that one instance in time is going to propel you, but it's that old saying, like you lay a brick a day, right? Mm-hmm. And then after a year you got a wall, or whatever it is.
Oh, wall. No politics here, buddy.
No, but but what I'm saying is that you just, the simple battles, you know, that you try to do every day. Just collabing with other artists, you know, trying to sell an album or a single or something, and that those little battles, they end up to, you know, to defeating the big war of and to me the war has always been, and it sounds like you kind of lived with the same thing, you know, musicians, 1 in a million, you know, this is set aside for, you know, the 1%. There's only, it's, you know, everybody's trying to do it. There's, you know, just any discouraging thing you could ever hear is what you have to deal with on this journey. But
yeah,
it's a part of something that makes you stronger, because you know, there's something within you that.
Yeah, and you know, I will say that I've had a great. As I gotten older, I've understood what people like. It would bother me when people would say stuff about me when I was younger. But as I got older, I realized, screw you, I don't care. Like at this point right now, if someone came up to me and said, "Oh, that podcast is stupid. You should just take it off," or "Oh, your food show is the worst show I've ever seen," I bet, great, you saw it. Podcast, great, you heard it.
Right.
Awesome, thank you. I appreciate the listen.
Right. Whether you liked it or hated it, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you
I
found
did
it.
it.
It found you. Right.
I think there's there's like this thing where it's like everybody is supposed to have this strong opinion, and they're supposed to tell you, and the other person is supposed to care.
I'm gonna Yelp this podcast.
I mean,
The internet made it. The internet made all these trolls. The internet. Fortunately, we've been able to grow with the internet. We've been able to, do things, amazing things, connect. I mean, like you said, when we got the food, like Uber and all that stuff like that. We've been able to do so much because of the internet. We're able to do this podcast because of the internet, but also it's created a culture of people just hating on you for no reason. No. And it's so bad. Like you watch Catfish or any of these crazy programs, people will create multiple profiles just to carry on what they do to bring you down.
I think that honestly, we could do an entire season of podcasting just based on the idea and talking about what type of mental illnesses have spawned from the social media era.
Absolutely.
I think that, everybody knows that guy growing up prior to the internet that's like really set on like what people think and always wants to. And it's like the internet is a nightmare for somebody like that because it's so easy to hop on YouTube under some weird name that nobody knows who you are. That it's completely confidential, anonymous, and just say the most toxic, crazy, outlandish things to somebody that would really like ruin somebody's life, like ruin their self-esteem, ruin who they are.
Yeah.
And we're in the era of it's either thick skin or they're gonna medicate it. You're gonna have to be medicated through the course of your life, and that's not healthy either.
No, I think you really need thick skin. Like one thing, he's watching me on the Instagram Live, but I have a good friend, Brandon, the unofficial mayor of Shafter. Shout out. It was crazy because in that time of my life, I started working for a utility company when I was like 20 years old. And I have a different attitude. I've always had a different attitude, always had a different personality. I didn't just fall in line. I always was different, good or bad. I messed up a lot. But, having a friend like that understand you, be there. Even to this day, we don't work together, but we still stay in contact.
Right.
And I think that when you grow up, you understand that who gives a shit about the haters? Let's think about the people who carry us, who make us rise to the occasion, bring us up, lift us up. Because there's plenty of times where I was down, and he extended his hand and picked me back up.
Yeah.
And kept going.
Oh yeah, and that's one of the biggest things that I tell people. The network that you build, you don't realize it as a young adult. Especially in high school, you just want to be friends with everybody. You want to know everybody. You want to be able to say, when someone says a name, you want to be able to say, I know that person. And but building a network is vital, and not just building a network, but building a network of people who want to build you up, who want to encourage you. I mean, every creative on this planet can remember the thousands of people who said they couldn't do it, but the one person that said they could. The one person that said, you know what, you can do it. If that's what you want to do, go on and do it. Like, everybody remember that,
Remember when I left my job, there was this guy, I'll leave him unnamed because it's not important.
He knows who he is.
But I never got along with this guy, and he figured out that I was leaving to go pursue this, right? And he's like, oh, don't worry, you'll be back. And that alone was like, gave me a push. Like normally I wouldn't even entertain anything that came out of that guy's mouth, because the only reason I was near the guy is that I had to work with him.
Yeah. Oh, I can agree. It's tough. Like you go to work and you just hate seeing that face.
Right. And it's just like we had some we had altercations, and like almost got physical. It was at that point where I'm like, this guy is a super negative guy, and this guy is wearing off on me. It's making me feel like I want to kill him, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and he said that to me, and like that kind of always was like, that's you just lit a fuse, man.
That's what it is, and I think that's the whole point of not just sitting here saying, "Oh, we've had it so hard, and it's been so rough for us, and poor me." And it's not about that. It's about telling people who are trying to do something for a living, anything. It doesn't matter whether creative or whatever you're trying to do. The fact of the matter remains is that it's hard, but you have to use anything and everything that comes in your way as fuel on the fire. And you have to find a way to get motivated when you're unmotivated. You have to find a way to get inspired when you're uninspired. You have to find a way to learn when you don't know what to do. And it's a very challenging thing. And, you know, it's me personally, it's built me up. I feel like it's made me a better person because I know that I can stand on my own too. I know that you could put me anywhere on this planet and I'm going to figure out how to get a meal. Oh, yeah. At least a free lunch or something. I'm the king of that.
I'm missing my cat. Where'd it go?
So, but that to me, that's just a good feeling to know that I could go anywhere and do anything and talk to people, and people will feel if you're really passionate about something, people are going to feel it. They're going to know it when they talk to you. They're going to see it in your work, you know.
Yeah.
And do it because you want to do it. Don't do it because somebody wants you to do it.
I've actually gone through the same thing where, because for the longest time, like I said, I've been in business for 3 years, but I've only been making money for probably a year.
Right.
You know, and I really want to give a big shout out to the Kern County Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, because they were really my first true client. Mm-hmm. They took a risk with me there because I'd show up, take pictures, do whatever. And they're like, hey, we really like your pictures. We really like your video. And it was just sticking my neck out there and taking on the criticism. People, to this day, people talk crap. But I don't care. Like, that's what I've learned, to let it roll off.
Yeah. You have to just keep your eye on the prize. You have to be focused. You have to change your focus.
Because the people who will invest in you, and that means more to me than anything. The people that will invest in you and put their time, their money, their faith in you. As a marketer, I have to be the voice for multiple clients. When we first started doing the podcast, I was worried, oh crap, I'm on the wrong page, all this stuff like that, because a lot of times I'm always posting for my clients and everything, and I'm very on it. When I'm at the day job, no, but when I'm off,
yeah.
First thing I picked up a new client, and so we're doing rebranding for her. Mm-hmm. And the very first thing I did when I got home, I didn't even eat. Right. I went. Well, we're gonna eat here, but
right.
I went straight to my computer, created a new logo, try to optimize her image, her brand.
Right.
And then after that, I go and pick up the food, and then I come straight over here. Mm. It's just that drive. I don't need anybody else's approval. I'm gonna do me, and then that's what happens. Mm-hmm. People put their time, people put their effort, people put their money behind you, mm-hmm. and I think that's like, you have a voice, and you kind of just show it to the world, and whether they like you or not, they'll decide on whether they're gonna take you on, let you work on their stuff. Right. Like with music videos and everything that you do, people see the stuff you've done, they're like, oh wow, damn. Like a lot of times when I'm scrolling through Facebook or YouTube or anything like that, and I see you do something, a lot of times what I do is I'll look at it and I'll start watching it, and I'm not like, oh damn, he's better, I gotta beat him. No, for me and my relationship with you is, dang, this is awesome. I wonder how he does that. So I'm gonna take little notes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
get a man some. Give him some.
And I'll be watching. And I'll be like, dang, how do you do that? So the next time I see him, I'm like, hey, man, how'd you do this? How'd you do that?
To me, that's the information is king. And we've learned that in the internet age, that information is valuable. 90% of the people who are doing well online are producing content that is giving information.
I want to say something, though. A lot of times when the people who are being seen on the Facebook and Instagram and all that, they are not the ones putting a lot of the work behind it.
That's exactly where I was getting at, is that whenever you see a dope video, whenever you see an awesome movie, whenever you see, just go to the movies, okay? If your standard for creativity or cinema or whatever is going to the movies and watching a movie, we just saw the new Jurassic World.
Well, how was it?
It was excellent. I thought it was great. But what my point is that the next time you watch a music video, you watch a film, indie film, whatever it is, watch the credits. Mm-hmm. There's never just one person's name there.
Oh, no.
Okay? It's a team. Mm-hmm. It's a team effort. You get a bunch of people, and this guy's job is moving boxes, but you know what? He's the badass of moving boxes. He's the best box mover you've ever seen. Okay?
Where do I get the app for that? Because I can move some boxes, bro.
Where do I apply?
You got the best DP. You got the best director. You got the best singer,
now
whatever.
please clarify DP, because DP's in different
director of photography. I think you.
Yeah.
But no, director of photography. I mean, my point is that my goal now in life is to work with people who are better than me, and always have a hand out and a hand up and a hand down and a hand sideways wherever I can get. Bring people up, bring people with you, but also look for people who are better than you and work with people who are better than you. It makes your content better. It just makes your life much better. It really does.
Doesn't it irk you when you have, like, I'm nobody. I'm nobody ever right now.
None of us are. We're just here,
What I think is that when I go and ask somebody, hey, let's work on this together. Hey, let's do something. And they just shrug you off, and you're just like, okay, like, you can tell me no. You're not going to hurt my feelings. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you tell me no. But it just irks me when they're just like, oh, yeah. And then 2 weeks later they come up, hey, buddy.
I think that a lot of the collaborative efforts that either happen or that don't happen, there's this thing of, like we talked about earlier, like being competitive versus being divisive, right? You want to be like, you know what? I want to be the best, but that doesn't mean that you have to tear somebody else down to do that. You don't have to be like, I'm the best and this guy is trash. Yeah. Like, this guy is less, he's trash, don't mess with him. There's always this thing of like, there's no sense in being so divisive, because we're in a community where it's easy to tear each other down, but really if you want to expand your networks to branch off and to build and to really become lucrative and do things business-wise and creative-wise, if you want to take it to that level, you need more than just like you and your network. You need to tap into other people's markets. You need to make these friendships with people. You need to be willing to, hey, you can direct, you're going to direct this video. I'm going to gaff this video. Hey, I can track the vocal. You can mix it. Like, there's different ways to include.
That's the thing. I feel that's pertinent to what you're saying is that I feel like the best directors were gaffers, were PAs, were ADs, were the best director wasn't just born the best director. They had to put themselves in the shoes of everybody on that set, everybody or in that studio, or whatever the case may be, and you find yourself through those positions by putting yourself in those people's positions instead of just jumping to conclusions and saying you just never know what somebody's been through. You put yourself in those shoes, you actually work those jobs, and I think that's just valuable life skills that you get.
I think that goes further than just, I think that goes with just about any job. Right. I mean, we used to have these oil jobs, right? And you'd have like the old man that walks on location. You're like, hey, this dude's just an OG. This dude's got 9 fingers. Like, he's real. There's those guys where you're like, I know that guy did everything. He gave his life, his passion. He gave everything to be where he's at. Mm-hmm. And then on the other foot, you have like, hey, there's a 22-year-old that just got out of college, right? And that's our boss now.
Yep.
And there's respect for that person because, hey, you have to respect the fact that this person went to school, they got their education, they did what they were supposed to. But when you're a 22-year-old and you don't have any hands-on experience in this field, it's not easy to tell some guy that has been doing it longer than you've been alive.
Yeah.
So there comes there has to be a well-rounded in all of that. You have to put in your educational hours, and then in turn you have to put in, like he said, your gaffer hours. Like, you have to put in that work that nobody wants to do, that nobody is willing to do, just so you can weed yourself out. Like, I like doing things in the project studio, right? In the studio, I take on projects like people's entire albums, right? And there are tedious sessions. I'm like, we're doing revision after revision, but there's a reason that those people come here to do their work. Mm-hmm. And I'm willing to do that, even though it sucks. I want to freaking chop my head off sometimes. I was looking for like some sound effect that I could do to chop my head off, but I don't have one. But there's definitely like a roundedness of a leader that you can look up to that is required. You have to have a little bit of both.
Yeah, no, and I feel it because when I first started working, I was like, oh, I have a college degree, I have this, I have that. And I've learned it doesn't matter. Like, I've applied for positions and been passed up, and I've had every single thing, and then I get beat out by someone who has one. And I've just learned, like, hey, you know what? It's not you. It's not your time. And I'm actually grateful because I was like, I would say I was a company man. Mm-hmm. You know, anything they wanted, I would be there. Boom, boom. But now I'm starting to see, like, is that my path? Is that what I really want to do? You know?
Yeah.
And that's why I started this Creators Podcast, was because, or Creators Outlet. And because I really want to help people, because it's taken me this long. I'm 29 years old, which isn't old, but I've been on this journey for, I don't know, 15 years, you know, and really finding my space, and my voice is the biggest thing. And people are starting to respect me. You know, I'm working with you guys, which I can't even believe how that happened. You know, it's the Beacon Studios. The first time I talked to the Beacon Studios, I just, hey, I'm looking for an office. How much? but you know, I was like, man, how do I work with these guys? How do I work with these guys? And just seeing who you guys are, being willing to work, being willing to be part of projects.
Pokeball. That's how you work with us.
Yeah, I'm gonna start paying you guys in poke. and it's just like finding a team that is just more, and like, I actually feel that you guys have a passion for what you do, and that's why I asked you guys to be part of this podcast, was because people hear it through our voices. People will hear it. They'll look in your eyes, and they can tell by your eyes and your voice.
Right.
And when I hear your voice, when I hear your voice, you know, I hear the passion in it, and that's what's important to me. And you know, there's been many times where I'll be talking to Jason, and we'll just be bullshitting for a couple hours, and like, oh shit, man, I can't believe it's been 2 hours, and we've just been sitting here talking about the dumbest things, you know, getting things into focus, or what do you want to do, you know. And we never really, like, sometimes I'd be sitting around creators and all they do is bash each other. Like, they just like, oh, this guy's this, and then 2 hours later, this guy shows up, hey buddy, what's up? And I'm just like, man, like, what the, come on, man, you were just talking shit about him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just, it breaks down to what type of person are you, right? Your values and what type of person you are will propel you through a lot of this BS. Like, we have I always tell this story when we talk about like the mindset, because I had somebody that I know that's Mike Lopez, for anybody that knows, and he sat us down one day, and Mike's a little bit older than us, so he was kind of like the OG, giving the young guys some game, right? And he gave us this speech about positivity and what it does. And this was before like you could get online and look up all these inspirational videos.
Tony Robbins and all
yeah,
that.
this is prior to all that. Like,
Yeah.
so
No Oprah Winfrey.
no, none of that. And Mike Lopez broke it down so cold-blooded. Like, he did it to where it was like, man, this is it. He's got it. Like, he's got a grasp on what it is, and he's given it to us. And that's kind of been like the mantra. Like, that's been our goal, is like we try to take the high road on things. We try not to bash people, especially publicly on Facebook. You see it so much. Like if what you're about to say about another person that does what you do, if that is not going to help you, or if you're unable to call, like, you need to call that person first in a private conversation before you put it out there. There's just ethics that goes towards it. And so when you start eliminating these bad habits and these negative things that you do to people, like, or the way that you carry your business, things start shooting through the roof. It's exponential. I told you that earlier. Like, there's things that you do that will set you aside, and that somebody will look at you and be like, that guy's got it together.
Well, even like you said, before all the, like, it went mainstream for like the life coaches, there was a book put out, I believe it was Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It came out in like long time ago. I want to say the 20s or 30s. I may be wrong. But that's a book that was recommended by Tony Robbins, because I'm a Tony Robbins guy. I if I had the money, I'd do the cold plunge like he does and everything. But I wanted to grow and everything, so he suggested that book. So that's one of the first books I got on audio, because I drive probably 4 hours out of the day. So I put an audiobook on and I go. And I couldn't believe it. It just changed the way I saw life. Like, it changed the way that I would do things, because instead of me being like, because the way I was raised, I was always competitive. So if I'd go up to Jason and be like, oh yeah, that's good, but look at that, you messed up right there, instead of saying 99,
I would have done that better.
Yeah. 99% of that video was just amazing, but I'm just gonna critique him on that one thing.
Right.
And after hearing that book, it just, my mindset now is like, I want to just build him up, because he's amazing. And when one of my clients did tell me that when tide rises, all ships rise. So that's what I go with now. So I'd rather build him up. He'll build me up. I'll build you up. We keep building each other up.
Right.
Yeah. That's the point, That's the point of having a good network, developing a great team, crew. That is much needed in this, what we're trying to do. Anybody who you can latch onto that understands what the day-to-day struggles are of not only trying to take care of a household, take care of a business, take care of a family, take care of your friendships. All these relationships take time and nurturing to develop. And that goes for professional relationships, that goes for clientele relationships, that goes for all of that. So it is a very important part of the priority system to sit down and say, what relationships in my life do I really need to take serious, and which ones can go by the wayside, right?
Yeah.
Because
you do have to chop some friendships.
It is.
Even if it's family, friends, whatever, even if it's your significant other and they're not going with it and you fight all the time, you just got to cut it. If it's not worth it to you, cut it.
Right.
And that's not my relationship at all. I mean, I love my wife and she supports me in everything I do. So, but I've seen people have to take that step, and it's unfortunate, but you can't let somebody basically tell you your dreams are never going to come true and believe them.
Right.
Because that's the worst type of torture. Imagine just going through life hating every day because you can't be who you are.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, the band just showed up to start recording here at the Beacon Studios, the beautiful Beacon Studios. I'd like to thank all of our sponsors today. We have Prime Resolution, Making Waves Music. We have the Beacon Studios. Did I say that once already? I don't know, but I'll say it again. The Beacon Studios. We also have Our Mars Media, which is my marketing company. There you go. Thank you very much. And we also have
LCA Cinema.
LCA Cinema. And especially a big thank you to the Rio Acai Bowls for providing us with such an amazing meal.
Man, it was delicious.
Yeah, if you are, look them up, Rio Acai, and you spell that RIOACAI
AI or something weird.
So before the band kicks up, thank you for tuning in, and we love you guys. If you guys want to find us, again, at Our Mars Media on Instagram, Prime Resolution on Instagram,
Making Waves
Music on Instagram. Also look us up, Google, Facebook, and all that fun stuff. Thank you guys. Love you. See you soon.